I've been telling them keep up. That way the time and they ease up. This ain't my hole, like my lease up. He making me Mona Lisa. Okay, don't really care what them posts say. I would still do this for no pay. It would be kinda hard though, not gonna lie. Been on my go, family grown, good to my soul. New arrows, fit in my bow. Aim it, who knows where they might go. Hey, brother, they understand that I'm just a son of the son of man. I'm ready mad, but don't wanna dance. Just trying to keep it 100 grand. So gone like breakneck, slim roll my paycheck. Bruh, gone with your fake threat. Got now, then wait for the paycheck. Isn't it cold? How my soul be dripping in gold? Follow the script, that's the code. Yeah, never too late. That ain't my way. Right at the gate, all in your face. Preaching away. Right at the gate, quick in my pace. Right when I wait, ay, right at the gate. Ain't on my place. Right when I wait, man, that's right at the gate. Get the track on the fan. Take a check on this timing. Look at boy on me flag. Get that tone and got him. Quick in my pace. Right when I wait, right at the gate. I know my place. Why would I wait? Right at the gate. I think they owning me. Goes from my past be hunting me. I see them hurdles up under me. All I see is runway in front of me. No flipping for gang, it's costly. Defending the name, get out me. Whole sentences killing them softly. Y'all thought you lost me, but I'm back. Still on my game. Never scared, like killing my claim. Jesus never been on my chain. Now this piece still spin on my brain. They call aboard, like do the right thing. If y'all aboard, then get on my train. Waving goodbye, I've been on my dang. Hey, tell them don't get in my lane. Same thing, looking like plain Jane, thinking they call. Bang, bang, they tryna maintain that status quo. Thought he was gone, I think he dead. He ain't wait long, only a text. Still in the shade, you know what's facts? Never too late, that ain't my way. Right at the gate, all in your face. Preaching away, right at the gate, quick in my pace. Right when I wait, ay, right at the gate. Ain't on my place, right when I wait. Man, that's right at the gate. Get the track on the fan. Take a check on this timing. Look at boy on me flag. Get that tone and got him. Quick in my pace. Right when I wait. Right at the gate. I know my place. Why would I wait? Right at the gate.
Hey, welcome to the session, Bible, Beats, and Bars. I'm your host, Minister Fred, too. You already know we do this every Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, listen, I got to make sure you are on this thing like I'm on this thing. Let's double back, Professor out. Shout out to my man, Professor X, bro. You already know the business. Every Friday night, listen, every Friday night, 7:30 Central Standard Time. That's Michael's. We have the No More Dirty TV show. Listen, a lot of people are talking about, man, we need good content. We get good visuals. Listen, you get the dopest, the cleanest, the fire, man. I'm talking about amazing music video from amazing artists around the world. So again, don't forget now, here's how you got to do it. Same way you're getting it tonight, you got to get it that's the same way. It's YouTube channel. Go to our YouTube channel. No More Dirty Ink is right there, right under the graphic, INC. Go to that YouTube channel, subscribe, turn on the notification, and then hit the bell, and then you're good to go. And then, of course, on Saturdays, we're here every Saturday. It's No More Dirty. You already know the business. It is the session, Bible, Beats, and Bars. And it's really, basically, this is like our exclusive talk show. You get a chance to get a lot of great content in terms of interviews, in terms of some of the most recent music videos, and how you can really kind of better yourself. It's about transformation. We just do it in a real creative way. And then on Sundays, you already know. Now listen, Sundays is No More Dirty radio show. First at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Figure it out on your codes. It's G93. I mean, that's my man. Shout out to my man, Ed Gaines, edgainsentertainment.com. Or you can just download the app from on your Google or your Apple, whatever it is, you device you use. Then at 6 o'clock, it's We Up 103.1. They have an app. You can always go to our website, nomoredirty.org, and get it. It's on and popping. I mean, listen, a whole hour, 60 minutes. Lord have mercy, 60 minutes. That's 1 minute times 60. You get all of this boom bap, and it's just fresh, family oriented, family friendly, and you still get the hip hop, bro. And then on Mondays, you already know, envision-radio.com. That's on the East Coast. So that's 4 p.m. East Coast Central Time. It's going to be 3, and you can get it worldwide. Actually, we're in several countries. Shout out to ANC, Admiral, and the whole team over there at envision-radio.com. So there it is. You already got all this content. And in fact, just go to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of it, and like No More Dirty Ink, No More Dirty Radio Show, No More Dirty TV, just anything No More Dirty. You already know the business. It's us. All right. So now we are, listen, I'm excited about our guest today. This young lady is amazing. And I'm going to just tell you straight up, listen, you do not want to miss this show. You don't want to miss a minute of it. I mean, from just the whole, you do not want to miss it. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce to you my friend, now your friend, is none other than Rose Ringerman. Hey, what's up, Rose? What's up?
Oh, what's up? Thank you so much, Fred. So silly. Thank
Yo,
you. Thank you.
welcome to the show. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling real good. I appreciate you for inviting me.
Oh, man, listen, it's our pleasure. On behalf of myself, Professor X, the whole team, No More Dirty. I mean, it's just, listen, if you get on the session, you get on this talk show, the session about Beats and Bars, I mean, you really got something to bring that's really transformative. And
Oh,
so,
man,
you know, we're honored to have you as our guest.
that
You know what I
means
mean?
that means a lot.
Okay, well, let's dig in. Let's get started because you already know we keeping this thing in a certain time, and then you do what you do, and I'm gonna do what I do, and they gonna do what they do. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in. So we start out with something light. Okay. So
Okay.
this is how we started out. This is just me. I need 3 fun facts, just 3 fun facts about Rose. That just
Okay.
3 fun facts. That's the first thing. Give it to us.
Facts.
Number
Okay.
1.
Let's see. I'll give you 3 facts that I think no one knows, and hopefully it's fun to them.
Good.
um,
1.
so one is I hate cats.
What?
I hate cats.
Really?
I despise them. I
Okay.
despise
So
them.
you see, but she now, folks, she does love animals. She's not.
Yeah, I love animals.
She's
Like
just
I would
not a
never,
cat lover.
yeah, I would never hurt them. But my mom to this day doesn't believe me because I was a
Oh,
cat
man.
lover as a child. So
Really?
as a child, I adopted every stray cat that was in the streets. So I do, I don't know if I just adopted too many as a child, and then it's like somewhere when I
Wow.
became grown, it was like I just flip mode, and I don't like their attitudes. Like they have attitudes. They're like entitled. They're entitled animals. They feel like they can just take over your space. I don't know. Anyway, so that's
All right,
one.
that's number 1. You
I don't
funny,
like
yo. That
cats.
is hilarious.
Um,
That is funny. Those cats. Okay, go
so
ahead. Number
and
2.
two, I just really like love to laugh, like and make others laugh. So in the 8th grade, I won class clown award, and I don't know why to this day I'm still proud of that. So all of my classmates, they'll laugh if they see this. I was the class clown, and I just genuinely love to, even to this day, just love to make people laugh. It was always about making people laugh. So I don't know. I might have a little stand-up comedy.
You do. Listen, folks, we're going to talk about that other stuff, but she is hilarious. I remember the first time I met her back in the day, 2 years back, and we were talking. I think you was rhyming, doing some stuff.
Yeah.
So your original group, and I was like, so such and such, and then she just snapped on me like she was comical. I was like, who you?
Yeah, a lot of people don't expect it. They don't expect it. So I wear many hats. Like when I'm the rapper Rose, I'm serious. It's like, okay, come on, let's do this. But as far as my downtime and just family and friends, I love being a nut. Like I just love having fun. I've even made it a life mission to laugh as much as possible.
Okay. Number 3. Give us your third one. Give us your third one.
3 is I love my favorite type of movies is superhero movies.
Get out of here.
Yeah, superhero movies and / fantasy like Game of Thrones. I think that falls under fantasy. But superhero movies, like I'm just
Mm.
all in. I think I'm a Marvel's fan, but I do like DC too.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It's just the superheroes in general, So
Wait,
I
wait. Say, see, listen. If you were in the studio and you're listening to this, and you were in the studio live on, which we will start in 2023, that's a
mm.
sound check, Mike. Um, my man, Professor X, is like this. When you said Marvel, he just tossed him up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Come on, Marvel in the house.
I'm such a DC fan, baby. I like it dark and ooh, Lord, is this biblical? The movie's just so dark. Like, okay, is there a
Um,
glimmer of silver lining? I'm a
yeah,
DC.
but
You know.
I'm gonna tell you one that I fallen in love with recently is the Umbrella Academy.
Really?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know that about me. That's what I do in my downtime. When I get some free time, I like watching superhero movies. So I'm a big kid, I guess.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, do you have a favorite scripture or a favorite quote or both?
Well, it's a favorite scripture, but I've sort of shortened it to a quote. But I just
Okay.
love it comes from Isaiah 60, where it says, "Arise and shine, for the glory of the Lord, is upon you." And so I really love that because there's just been so many times in my life that I felt whether knocked down
Mm.
or in a dark place, and it's like that scripture would just remind me that I need to arise and shine, because carrying the light of Christ.
I am really excited about you. First of all, I want to say thank you in advance, and folk, you'll understand why. Um, Rose has a very, very, very unique story that, and we were actually talking about some other things. And as we began to have this conversation, as she was sharing, I was like, you got to be on our show. So one of the things that we do, Rose, is anyone that comes on the show after we did get the fun facts out the lighter side,
Yeah.
we do this thing where we ask, tell us about your backstory. Now,
Mm.
I know because I had to get the questions and stuff queued up, but in terms of who is Rose, where you
Mm.
from? Let's talk. Let's take you back to them youngin' days. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Where you
Yeah.
from? Where you from? Where you hail from?
All right. Well, I'm from Chicago, Chi-town.
Sherry.
Um, Born and raised, yeah, west side of Chicago.
Okay.
Um, and oh man, I'm trying to make a loaded question, light.
Well,
Let me say where I'm
we'll
from.
break it up. We'll break it up.
Yeah,
We'll break it up. You know
yeah.
what I
So,
mean? We'll break it up.
born and raised in Chicago, lover of Chicago, love the city, love the food. I did move to Alabama in 2000. And so, I go back home as often as I can, miss the scenery, miss the food, and my friends still have friends and family there. And I love the culture, music. I mean, it's just so many rich things about Chicago. So, but yeah, mother of three.
Okay.
Um, I have two sons and a daughter.
Okay.
My oldest son, he did pass away from cancer. Um,
Hmm.
I actually became a mom at the age of 14.
Wait,
Um,
wait, 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 wait. Okay. Okay. Let I'm gonna ask a question so that y'all because listen, this is a serious one here. So you were a young mom
yeah, that
at
journey started
age
early.
14, like 14?
Yeah, it started very early. Um, I mean, I was honestly a tomboy at the time. I loved art. I was in a lot of art contests.
Okay.
And I always say that because, even back then I was judged, people called me adults, whores, and they thought they had this perception of me. And that I knew in my heart wasn't true. I mean, it was a mistake, I mean, it was
Yeah.
my first time. Didn't know what I was, like I said, a tomboy. I wasn't, as the older folks, they called me fast and all that. I did not have that mindset at that time. And
Right.
so, at the age of 14, like I said, got pregnant my first year of high school and
Mm.
decided to keep the baby. Had some family friends, was like, hey, you need to get rid of the baby. You're too young. And I don't know, it was honestly only intuition because I was only 14 and I honestly
Right.
didn't know what I was getting myself into. I did go through a lot because that's when my journey of being a single mom
Yeah.
began. And you're not ready mentally. I knew that I didn't want to get rid of my child. I wanted to raise my child, but I wasn't ready, like mentally, for what I was about to go through being a parent. But he was the brightest. I mean, he was a joy to raise. It was that son that got diagnosed with cancer at the age of 8. And then,
Wow. Wait.
yeah.
See, this is why it's so important that we really don't judge people and that we
Hmm.
really take the time to understand their journey.
Hmm.
I just need to go back and clarify just a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're born and raised in
Hmm.
Chicago, the
Hmm.
bricks, where
Hmm.
like I got family in Chicago. It's rough. It's rough.
Oh yeah,
New
yeah,
York, go up south. So if you anywhere in those major cities, that's crazy.
yeah.
And then to be ostracized, talked about, even
Hmm.
though you were talented, you were just a different type of kids. Then you
Yeah,
end up being a single mom, a young single mom. I
yeah.
mean, statistically, we hear all these things, these stories.
Hmm.
But what was that like in terms of that? You're 14 and now you got a 6 month baby boy in your hand
Hmm.
in the cut, in the bricks of
Hmm.
Chicago. That
Well,
had to be it's
like
real.
I said, I wasn't mature in the beginning. I still, wanted to hang out, so I would tell my mom that I was going to the store, but I was really going to see friends, or I still wanted to hang out with my friends. So I did do a lot of kind of like just trying to hang out, still trying to be a kid myself. And
Yeah.
so it got to the place where I ended up having to drop out of school. I love school. I was promised some scholarships for art because I used to draw. And so my artistry really started in drawing and painting. And so I ended up having to drop out of school, for being a mother and having to take care of my son. And my mom was like, "Look, I can't keep watching him because you're not coming straight home." I was,
Mm.
like I say, being a kid. And so, but that was one of the best things my mom could have done. It forced me, to sort of be the mom and be a parent. And so, which was very hard for a 14. It was very hard for me. And so I ended up having now I get to this place that now it's kind of like, you know what, forget everybody. They talking about me anyway. And
Mm.
I sort of went down the path of becoming the words that people were saying. And I
Okay,
ended
so
up having
wait. This we
okay.
gotta break this up. We gotta break
Yeah,
this up, Rose. I
yeah,
want to go to a song. AI Anomaly has a song that fits
yeah,
perfectly what you're sharing. And then when we come back, let's talk about that 14, 15 to getting to that point at 19 that
yeah.
we talked about before. So I
Hmm.
want you to listen to the words of this song. And listen, if you have a young person in your house,
Yeah.
especially a young girl that's under the age of 17, and a
Hmm.
young boy that's under the age of 17, and they feel like they got this locked and they loaded and they know what's going on. I want you to really take this time to share this video. Really share this video while we're even doing it now. It's going to play forever and ever, but I want you to listen to this song by AI, and let's talk about this journey with Rose. We'll be
Hmm.
right back. The session, Bible, Beats, and Bars.
This is the dark room. I shared the room with you. Found comfort in this blackness. Yea, though I walk in this valley of shadows, I shall fear my flesh, for it comforts me. I'm surrounded by darkness as I listen in the distance to these bitter whispers. I am your pain, I am your pleasure, I am your weight, I am your failures, I am your flaws, I am your fate. If a weight is found, I'll chase it down and grip it till I rip it out. Stuck in this chamber, chained, and you cannot escape. I am your fallen efforts, I am your broken treasures, I am your friend, I am your foe. your unanswered questions. I am what you chose to fill your voids. I am your noise, your distractions, your attractions. I am your choice. I have captured your conscience. You are captive in my pit. I have lassoed your palate. Oh, come and taste this blackness. I serenaded your inner needs with symphonies. I am your song, your soliloquy. I am your wrongs. I am your guilt, which you long for. I am your downfall. I am your crown. I am your crowd. I am your vows. I am your flesh. I am your now. I am your breath. I am your death. Yes, I am your God.
It is really funny how mortals always picture us as putting things into their minds. In reality, our best work is done by keeping things out.
In the darkness, we have our own ambitions, our own list of wishes mixed with interest, living in it, no intermission. We dip in delicious sweetness of our own intentions, lay with informants, taste of adornment, pour in the Father. Folly will follow, finicky fools, sullen in sorrow, who follow dishonor. Mothers and daughters, sons and their fathers, sisters and brothers have fought in our conscience as we play with the monster, content in the darkness. Snapshots of vanity. Truth reveals reality. We've fiddled with fiction, fixed in the film of our center. Development is needed. Lord, see us. Invert our negatives. Let your light shine on our blemishes. I was sitting in that dark room, comforted in my casket, having a blast. It's tragic that my optics were so clouded by that blackness. Stop me, fix me, make me new, oh Lord. Burn your image on my soul. Loose this bondage, make me whole. New beginnings, like reflection through this pentaprism. I'm captured by the lens, and you saw beauty in this shallow view. You chose to expose me to your fluorescent truth. Welcome to the dark room. Desire to be holy, Lord. My desire to please me weighs more than gold. I often fell, God, I'm unworthy. I often fall, I'm undeserving. I pick and choose, and I will worship. Lord, have mercy.
Let's bring her back in. 15, 14, young mom, like you see in the video, having to face the realities. Yet people are saying you're going to make it. Some people saying you're not going to make it. Then what happens next to this 14-year-old, 15-year-old Rose?
Yeah, so by the age of 16, I have my second son. Now, by that time, I'm in a different mindset. I'm more aware of what I'm doing, and just don't care at this point. Because I heard a lot of adults talk about me, and it was more like, forget the world. I said some other things, more harsh words.
Yeah.
It was like, forget the world, and I just started doing when I look back on it, I didn't realize it at the time. I was doing what people were speaking over me. I stayed high. Yeah, I stayed high, sleeping around, just didn't care. And so I get pregnant with my second son, and of course the journey gets harder basically because now I'm a single mom, 2 boys. The fathers, they were in and out of their life to some degree. And so I went down a dark path, just staying high, not being a mom, not being a good mom. I wasn't abusive or anything like that, but I mean, it takes finances to raise children. I was barely able to keep a job because I was trying to go to school, trying to work, and needing a babysitter. So it was just this kind of vicious cycle. And so I ended up, really ended up in some mentally dark places where I would think about suicide because it just really, really got hard and got challenging. By the age of 19, I was like full throttle there in my mind where it's like, you know what, I just need to end it. And I had planned on writing a letter to my mom, apologizing and just telling her, like, hey, I wanted her to raise my boys, and I just couldn't do it anymore. But in this particular season, I had actually came and visited Alabama. My oldest son's father was here and wanted to see his child. And Alabama was a whole different pace than Chicago. I mean, to actually, sit on the porch and not hear fire trucks, ambulances, police cars going off all the time. You don't even realize that's your normal until you get away from it. And so the quietness just made me say to myself, I need to do something different with my life. Because I was always ambitious. Like I said, art was my ambition. I wanted to go to college. In my mind, I'm thinking at this point, at the age of 19, I'm like, I need to go ahead and do something with my life because I have these two boys I need to raise. And I just up and stayed. I was visiting his family, just for them to see the kids. And I just up and I walked out. I didn't even know where I was at. I just walked and I was standing on the corner crying. Knew that I did not want to go back to Chicago because I needed to start over somewhere fresh. And someone took me to a homeless shelter, me and my boys. And I started my journey, in Alabama. And at this time I wasn't saved, but I was just trying to make a better decision. And so salvation came shortly after that. And that's where the whole suicidal mind frame came in, where things were hard. Now I'm in a whole different state, no family, no support. And I'm just like, I'm through with it. And I remember just hearing a voice saying, but you haven't tried me. And because I had plans on taking pills this particular night. And deep within my heart, I knew it was God. Like I had been raised in church. So what was crossing my mind was, you've tried everything else, but you haven't tried me. And, I remember thinking, okay, well, I'm going to try you and I'm going to see how that goes. And if it doesn't go well, I'm going to kill myself, but I was young.
Oh, I get it.
That's how I was thinking. And someone ended up taking me to this Bible study that they were doing in the neighborhood. And I gave my life to Christ. And I've truly never been the same since. Like, I know that it's possible to truly have like an overnight change. Like I gave my life to Christ. They baptized me that night. And I remember thinking like, okay, God, now what? I need you to help me stop smoking weed. Like that was my first prayer, like I need you to help me stop smoking weed, because I stayed high all the time. And I knew that was not what I needed to be doing for myself. Right. So I prayed for God to deliver me from smoking, and he did it. I stopped smoking cigarettes and because this is what I asked. And at the time, when I look back on it, I was so innocent. Like I didn't have a bunch of scriptures, just kind of
right.
Pray from my heart, like, okay, I know I need to stop this. God help me. And he did. And that was a miracle to me. And that's what really kind of launched me in a path of just being on fire for God. Cause I was like, wait, he's real. Like, yeah.
I want to interject here just real quick. And we're going to go to the song. I know you like Aha, Gazelle. So we did a song. Yeah. I tried to pick some songs I think you would enjoy, and it actually follows your story. I think this is one of those moments when you're watching a show or you're watching some exclusive on TV and you go, is that really work? Mm-hmm. Just simply having a regular conversation that people call prayer, because prayer is really talking to God. But you really just talked to him. You really just was like, I want to stop smoking weed. I'm tired of being high.
Yeah. It works. Like, and I prayed it with, like I said, I wasn't in church. I mean, I had been raised in church, but I did not have I didn't have a church mentality. Like, for some reason, God has always really, I would say, maybe blessed me with this certain level of, I don't know whether to call it innocence or just this, to be real with him, to be honest with him. I remember telling him I didn't know what a day felt like not being high, and I need your help.
Wow.
I remember telling him that, and so and honestly, from that time on, I don't even know how it happened. Like I just know he, like seriously, I don't even know how it happened. I just know I never smoked weed again and that's not the lifestyle that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? For myself, I wanted to be sober minded in my decisions, and so he helped me. He delivered me immediately, and then of course, with me being in a new state, it's like he automatically started putting those good influences around me, good friends, church, people that were also seeking God. So it all fall into place.
So let's go to this song because then you shared something about the journey toward relationships and what that looked like and that experience, because now you've experienced for the first time in your entire life having a regular conversation with, like, you having a regular dude conversation, with your girlfriend, your homie, and he answers. So we're gonna go and hear this song, man. It's called "Heart Away" by Aha Gazelle, and then we'll be right back with the continuation of this amazing journey. And again, thank you, Rose, for sharing. Stay tuned. The session, Bible, Beats, and Bars.
You gotta make something that they relate to, you know. You gotta tell them something that they can feel. Don't get wary. I know that it's hard sometimes. I know you're gonna cry some nights. The sky above you won't always be blue. I hope you hear me. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but sometimes that isn't true. I don't got nothing else to lose. I'm like, how much more do you need? You got me begging like, please, no. I'm like, please don't take my heart away, please. I'm like, please don't take my heart away, please. Yeah. I'm like, please don't take my heart away. I reached out for love, I need a hug, but you're too far away. When I get back home, I don't get out, sit in my car all day. What am I afraid of inside? Okay, maybe I'm not fine. Maybe I've been going on my mind. When I go to sleep, it's never quiet. And I know that I'm not the only one. I'm really preaching to the choir. How many ever let you down? It's a lot of bodies in the crowd. Now the temperature rising and music is loud. The lights are too bright and I can't see how anyone would ever make that trade. I hope it's worth it. How we even get in the first place out. We've all made some choices we ain't proud of. Some things you gotta go through you can't get out of. But don't get wary. I know that it's hard sometimes. I know you're gonna cry some nights. The sky above you won't always be blue. I hope you hear me. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but sometimes that isn't true. I don't got nothing else to lose. I'm like, how much more do you need? You got me begging like, please, no. I'm like, please don't take my heart away, please. I'm like, please don't take my heart away, please. Yeah, cool.
Yo, bring it back in, bro. I love that Heart Away. And this is really interesting. There was something you said, and I want to go back because one of the things I think was very unique about you said you were standing on the corner crying with your two kids, and someone came and took you. Who was that? Because I think it's interesting, and I'm going somewhere on this.
Yeah.
Share that, Rose, because it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. So, it was a Muslim, the Muslims that stand out on the corner and they're
Yeah.
passing out like papers.
Uh-huh.
And so I was on this corner. Like I say, I didn't know anyone. I just knew I wanted to start over. I didn't want to put the responsibility on the family that I was visiting. And it was
Right.
like, this is my decision. I'm just trying to start over. And so I'm standing on this corner, and it was a Muslim standing on the corner that saw me crying. And he said, well, let me, take you to a shelter. And so, yeah, he took me to a homeless shelter.
Yo, listen, and here's what's so crazy, Rose, and you know this like I know working in community, is
Mm-hmm.
that God will allow us to meet people from all walks of life
Mm-hmm.
when we're serious about change. And
Mm-hmm.
even if we fall back and Donnie McClurky says we fall down, but we get up. Even if we
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes, folks, like the beauty of it is like how I was saying, it's a heart away. Don't take my heart away.
Yeah.
As long as you got a pure heart, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go through some different things. I love that joint with the guitar and the licks, acoustic. Like,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be some good moments. There's gonna be some not so good moments. There's gonna be some trying moments,
Yeah.
but just whatever you do, don't take my heart away.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about the continuation of your heart because what I love about your journey, Rose,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going somewhere. We're not gonna keep you long, but
You good.
this journey, you're 19, you
Mm-hmm.
want to take your life. Your heart says, and your mind, you say, okay, God, I'm going to take my life if we don't have a real heart conversation. You
Mm-hmm.
have the heart conversation. He takes the weed away.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even really remember the time, but it left.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yo, there's a real God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So how does this impact your relationship? How does this
Yeah.
impact your relationship at this
Yeah.
point?
And at that time too, what was funny is that my boyfriend, my kid's dad was living with me. I even told him like, look, we need to get married, or it has to be done the right way. And so
Gotcha.
there was those basic things that I just kind of knew. They were like foundational things that I knew I needed to. I don't know. I just had this intuition that this was going to hinder my relationship. And I mean, it was immediate. Like I came home from being baptized and it was like, okay, I'm throwing out cigarettes. I'm throwing out, cigar wrappers. I'm waiting for him
Woo!
to tell. I mean, like God did a quick work. And I don't know I really just think it's a heart thing too, And so how for me to see him to give me that desire to just want to clean my life up, and be able to do it in his strength, not my own, that was a miracle to me. And so it left I say curiosity and my heart wide open to okay, God, what else? Like, what's next? And it's been a continuous, what's next? Like we get over another mountain and it's like, okay, God, what's next? And so it's been him just continuously blessing me to that my life would line up with his will for me.
This is deep because we can get even deeper because then something even more traumatic happens.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a relationship, you get married, doesn't quite work out a few
Yeah.
years or so. Then your son, let's talk about your son. And
Yeah.
I want to do this song called Monster afterwards. And then we're going to do that turn. And because I think it's important. And I'm super glad that you're on our show because people need to know that these really
Yeah.
do happen. These things happen, and like there's a real God dealing with some real craziness, like
Yeah.
right now in your real moment.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so I think it was at the age of 21, I did get married, with that idea that it was gonna be, not say happily ever after, but like he was saying he wanted to go after God. Of course I was already in God at the time, and it was my children's father. We wanted things to work, and during the time that we were married, our son was diagnosed with cancer. And so that was like a whole different like trial and tribulation. And there were just things that, sadly, our marriage didn't survive it, And so I was married 4 years. I, endured a divorce. I had a child with cancer, taking him back and forth to Birmingham Children's Hospital for chemo treatments. You have surgeries, radiation. I mean, it was a back and forth journey for 15 years. He was in and out of remission. And then, like I said, I had my other two children, all of them really say needed my attention in a special way. And so, just as a mother, it was a very trying time, but it's nothing that I honestly regret, because I would give all my children my all over again.
Wow.
But it
Wow.
was hard. Yeah, it was hard.
Wow. So what would lead you to say that, given all the trauma,
Hmm.
having to do it at some point on your own for all these years,
Yeah,
and still fight demons and monsters in your personal life? To
yeah.
say that you wouldn't trade and go back and do it again,
Hmm.
what motivates and drives you at that, in this season, I guess, or
Yeah,
that, and this season, that season that you were in?
yeah. Well, first, I would like to say all things do work together for the good of them who do love God. So even in the most horrific, traumatized, trial or tribulation of a situation, all things will work together for the good. Now, I will say, no, it doesn't feel good to be in pain.
Right.
My son passed away at the age of 23, which was just a couple of years ago. And that was probably the hardest thing that my heart has ever had to, endure or feel. And this was right at the top of the pandemic. And so where my
Right.
answer comes from is, once he passed away, we got the pandemic, we're all being quarantined. And I have all this time where I am grieving and I'm reflecting, and
Yeah.
I'm grieving and I'm reflecting. And as
Yeah.
I'm reflecting on all of the hurt and the pain of watching my son suffer through cancer, I asked myself a question, and I said, if God had told me from the very beginning, I thought about the 14-year-old Rose that had my son Kivante.
Right.
If God would have said, okay, you can have it, you're gonna have this son, but you're gonna have to go through this. You're gonna go through
Right.
fighting for life. But at the same time, I saw, how bright and connected we were. And I mean, my son was an amazing human being, and God gave me the choice to not have him. Like, would
Wow.
I do it all over again?
Wow.
And that's kind of where I came up with it, that answer, because it helped me in my grieving process, where I said, you know what, God, if it was just ordained before, Rose even knew Kivante was coming, that he would be on this earth for 23 years, raised by Rosemary Sherrod, like, if I had the choice and I look at that entire journey, like stepping back, I'm like, God, I would do it all over again. If it meant that I had to. And that's really honestly a testament to the power of love. I loved him so
Mm.
much just to know him. You know what I mean? Like, to have the privilege to say I was his mom. Yes, I would go through that again if I had to.
Okay, I want to go to this song. This is deep, sis. Bizzle has a song. It's called Monster, and I want to dedicate this song to all those individual couples that are together,
Hmm.
whether you're married or cohabitating, or
Hmm.
you're trying to decide if you want to go all the way. There's a song by Bizzle called Monster,
Mm.
and I think it's important that we, as a unit, I'm talking about that couple,
Oh
you
yeah.
really have the conversation, the communications, and things of that, so that when life happens, whether it's your son having cancer, or
Yeah.
whether it's we're struggling together trying to make ends meet,
Hmm.
we don't fail each other in the relationship, but we say, God, like you said earlier, it's that heart conversation. Babe,
Hmm.
I'm not strong. Then God help my husband, or my
Yeah.
boyfriend, or my girlfriend, or my wife, or my
Hmm.
significant other to be strong. So I want you to really pay attention to the visual and the message. And then when we come back, I want to talk about believing in the dark.
Hmm.
Okay? Because, like, wow, it's just a major moment. All right, so we'll be right back to session. We're here with Rose. Stay tuned. Like a low.
Okay, let's begin.
I had a dream I was living in the crib just like this one. Same wife, different children, and it looks just like home, but feels like I'm visiting. I really can't tell if it's real or I'm tripping. As I venture into the kitchen, it's two chicks whispering. Figured they was friends with the wife as they kicking it. I see them both giggling. The laughs get louder, and as I begin listening, it's clear that they dissing them. Either you drunk, pissing you off, piff or belligerent, and must not remember who kitchen it is you sitting in. Don't never disrespect my queen. You gotta get up and hit it before I really get pissed and start flipping. And before I can get rid of them, one of them said, listen, we'll leave, but in a minute, believe us, we'll be here again. We got permission from the guy that you're living with. What guy? Your friend upstairs with the lizard skin. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you. From the monster. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you. From the monster. So I hit the stairs, running fast, gun in hand, stopping through the house, looking for this man. Busting in the kids' room. Well, they my kids, but they not my kids. That's the part that I don't understand. And I ain't mentioned anything from the kitchen. I just asked if any strangers came here to visit. They pointed at this drawing that they made, and this picture was a lady and some man with a face like a lizard. They laughing as I notice they hands hidden behind they back, and it was something black in it. I tell them to let me see. As I take a look closer, it's a voodoo doll of my wife with needles all over. And now I'm tripping, asking them where they get it and what are they doing with it, but all they doing is grinning. They looked at me and said, Dad, quit tripping. The monster inside y'all's room gave us permission. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you. From the monster. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you. From the monster. So I run up in our room and I see this man. He's standing over my wife and she bleeding bad. I pull a gun out to squeeze, but this thing is jammed. So I swing, but it's so slow I can't even land. I step around and I see his hand. It got my wife's heart in it and it's beating fast. She got tears running all down her cheek, but she keeps smiling though. You would think she ain't even mad. This dude got a hoodie on, I can't see his face. I'm just trying to figure if he a lizard or he a snake. Is it what the chick explained? Is it who the kids were saying? Giving everybody permission to cause my missus pain. He yelled something and it sounded like hypocrite. Except he ain't say it, he was hissing it. I asked him his name, he replied, Mark, then he looked up, in his face, it was mine. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you. From the monster. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you. From the monster. I wake up and it's a chick laying next to me, but it's not my wife laying in the bed with me. Tears in my eyes and this dream got me dying inside, cause now I finally realized what it was telling me. The two women in the kitchen, they were dissing, cause the way that I was living had given them that permission. And now I wanna flex with words and check forward, but my actions is why they was losing respect for it. And them kids that I didn't recognize at first, see, they really were my kids, just not with her. And the doll with all the needles inside of her represents the betrayal they'd always be a reminder of. See, I was running around trying to be the hero, but the monster with her heart in his hand was me though. I know you never let anybody hurt her, bro, but don't forget you in the position to hurt her most. I'll save you, I'll save you. I'll save you, I'll save you. From the monster.
No More Dirty TV Show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing
dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV Show. Connect with us. Tune in.
Save of the monster. Bring her back in, bro. We in the building. You are tuned into the session, Bible Beats and Bars, with our special guest, Rose. Rose, what you think? What you think about that video?
Oh yeah, that was deep. I love it.
Listen, it's okay to get therapy. My man is like, let's start, brother. Let's get this off your plate.
Yeah. And you know, one thing I want to say in regards to relationships, as far as my experience, there was a lot of things that hit, there's a lot of things that can hit your marriage. Like we had a child that had cancer, and then it was like, boom, storm after storm. And, you just got to realize that everyone, they may, your significant other may not take things the way you take it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, sometimes people shut down where you might, you ready to go to war, or everybody responds to those different, traumatic things differently. And so to just stay prayerful for your partner.
And seek counsel, professional license. And if you want to do Christian counseling or spiritual counseling, but make sure that they are bonded and they are clinically astute, because they're going to ask the questions to you and your significant, your loved one, that you wouldn't even think about. Or you may say, oh, it ain't a big deal. Yeah. But it really is a big deal. What triggers you may not trigger your man or your woman. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, so, absolutely. Absolutely. You need that unbiased, to come in and help. And absolutely.
And helps identify the monster in you. And not only identify it, but also comes up with strategic ways that you can do that collectively as a couple and win, overcome and win. Yeah. Because you got to live with each other, and you want to live a life that's not only pleasing unto the Lord, but that's pleasing unto your spouse. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to make sure we toss that in there, because I think at some point, sometimes we forget that it's okay to pray and have a therapist. It's okay to do the necessary steps to be your best you in the relationship with your queen or king. All right. So with that being said, I do want to talk about, and I want to kind of finale and wrap this thing up. We're going to get 2 more songs in. But as a result of all of these experiences, you ended up writing. See, here's what's crazy about this, you all. Rose is not only an artist, draws, does paintings. She's an artist, like she got bars for none, right? But along with all of that, you're an author. Yeah. So how did this book, was this a book birthed out of all these experiences? Let's talk about it. What's the name of your book? Show them your book, first of all. Yeah. And then I'm going to have, I want you to show them a hard copy of the book. And I got one. She signed mine. Yeah. So you got to purchase your own. There it is right there. Yeah. Believing in the dark.
Yeah. Believing in the dark. So yes, this book, it was birthed out of pain, going through some very dark times. Like it says on the book, embracing what is blooming in your darkness. And so out of those dark times that I went through with my son, 15 years is a long time to go through anything. Yeah. And so him going in and out of remission, I'm thinking like, okay, he goes into remission. I'm like, he's healed. Okay, that's the end of that. And then we're back in it. It came back 5 times. So at the end of towards the end, where the cancer always stayed localized in his lung, it spreads to his brain and spine. And then from there, I pretty much watched him decline slowly, which was an agonizing process for a mother. And that is the season I just remember sitting on my porch saying, God, I feel like I'm sitting in the dark. Because I could not understand what God was doing. I'm like, he's healed him every single time before. The cancer would come
Right.
back, he would bounce back, get better. And this time it was just getting worse and worse. And it took me through a series of emotions. I got angry with God. Then like I said, it felt like I was sitting in the dark. And so one of the goals that my son and I, we used to talk about writing a book together. Like some days we'd be in the hospital, and
Right.
he and I would be like, "Man, we got to be going through this for something." Both of us would say that to each other, and
Wow.
so our goal was to write a book together. And so, when he ended up passing away, I just kind of sort of felt like a baton was passed to me to still
Mm.
write a book, share his story, but I more wanted to share the story in the journey of faith, where
Wow.
when you get to that place, or if you find yourself in a place that you're angry at God, or you feel like, how could God let this happen? For me, I just couldn't believe, like, I felt like I had did all the right things. I knew I trusted God. I believed God. I had faith. I went to church. I was praying, every single, I knew, for what I felt, I was a good person in Christ, like the
Yeah.
best I could be. I felt like if there was a checklist, I felt like I checked it all off.
Right.
And then I felt like, God, you allowed me to see him, pass away. And so, and that was a dark season for me. That was an agonizing season for me. And so basically believing in the dark is, though I'm telling the story and the journey of, me believing God for my son's complete healing, but I'm also sharing a journey of faith where if someone finds themselves in a dark place,
Yeah.
find themselves maybe angry at God or feeling like, God, how could you let this happen? What do you do with your faith at that point? And there
Wow.
is always light blooming. I call it blooming in your darkness all the
Wow.
time.
Wow. So I'm going to ask Professor to put this up, and I want you to share how they can stay in touch with you, how they can follow you. He's going to put that graphic up, and it should be in my drive. But how can they get your book?
Yeah,
Where is it
it's
available?
it's available on Amazon Books and Barnes and Noble. You can find
There you
Believing in
go.
the Dark. Yeah.
Wow. And what has been, I guess, is there a particular chapter that really drives home what you're sharing with others?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a particular a favorite maybe that you had, or a favorite that was um, your your sons
Mm-hmm.
believing in the dark, embracing what is blooming in your darkness?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I can say the exact chapter, but I know that there was a moment in the story that I talk about. I was sitting, we were at Huntsville Hospital, and it was a time where he had gotten to a point that he was ready to go. And he said he accepted hospice care for his life.
Okay.
And it just felt like a ton of bricks. I mean, it felt like a boulder just hit me in my heart. And usually
Mm.
I was very strong. I never really cried in front of my son. And when the doctors walked out, I burst out crying.
Mm.
And I said, I can't believe that this is happening. And then my son says, and with just a straight look, stern, he didn't look like, oh, mama, don't cry. He just had this dominant look, and he said, Mama, sometimes what we think is the end is really the beginning.
Wow.
And that was very, very profound to me. I felt like he was saying something that my heart was nowhere near ready to accept. And it was a revelation that was not able to grasp yet. And so, and then what was so funny is that one of my first raps that started off with that line, what I thought was the end was really the beginning. And I was referencing my salvation. So, when he said that in that moment, I just felt like, what beginning? Like, I don't want you to leave, what kind of new beginning could be beyond this pain? And sometimes we're in so much pain and facing trial and tribulation, it's hard to see a new beginning in it. And God did have a new beginning.
I think this is that moment where I'm going to ask you to speak to the audience and our listeners and our viewers. And for those that are experiencing some type of very tough, traumatic situation now,
Mhm.
just share a word of encouragement or whatever God gives you. And then I want to end. Well, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray that. And I'm going to say this, folks. I want you all to go to the website, go to Amazon, Kindle, wherever you need to go and
Mhm.
purchase this book,
Mhm.
because I started reading it, Rose, and I'm like, wow, this is bananas. Like it's so deep, but it's so hopeful
Yeah.
while going through what you're going through. Like I'm grateful to have a copy of this, and then got my copy, and he signed it and all that good stuff. But when I started reading this thing, I was like, oh my goodness, man!
Mhm.
It's a journey. It literally is a journey in understanding what faith is, looks like, and feels like in the middle of the darkest season of your life.
Yeah.
Like that is crazy, but you're a living testament that all things do work together for them that love the Lord and called according, like He called you out of darkness in the
Mhm.
middle of darkness. And I'm like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it's hard to put the thing down. It's
Yeah.
bananas. You
Thank you.
know, so no, seriously, I'm like, I don't even like to read books. I don't read a lot. You
Yeah.
got me reading. You hear me? That's a serious situation for Minister Fred. So,
Um,
just speak to the folk, and then I think I was gonna do I was gonna do waiting, but I want to go out with your single,
mhm.
because also a Christian hip hop artist, and like you got this premiere, it's a dope. You're relaunching. It's you're I'm just blown away. So just speak to the folk real quick,
Yeah.
and then we'll pray, and then we're gonna talk about your single, and let them roll, and go to the website and go online and get your stuff.
I would just say that, no matter what you're facing, a lot of times if we're facing something that we feel no one else understands, we throw this wall up and we're like, you know what, you don't know what I'm feeling. You don't know the pain that I'm experiencing. And maybe some of the people around you don't know, but God knows. And that's the main one that it is important, and you need to know that He is with you. And the more that you open up your heart to Him and allow Him to show you the light that is there in your dark, and He is the light. And so, even in darkness, He turns it into light because of His presence. But you must open your heart to Him, and so that He can show you the hope in your situation and show you that there's even a new beginning, that all things are going to work together for His good. And, stay hopeful, stay grateful. Even during my season of grief, I I chose to be grateful. And that sounds really strange, right? I'm grieving my son, but I was choosing to be grateful that God allowed me to mother such a phenomenal human being. And so there's something that you can always be grateful for. And as you are grateful, God will begin to He'll begin to expose to you the many blessings that are waiting for you in this season and your next season to come.
So let's pray. God, we ask now that you would allow us to be able to see the light, experience the light,
Yes,
and
Lord.
do so in a grateful way, knowing that we're in pain. I thank you for Miss Rose. I thank you for this journey that she was so gracious to share with us. And I pray that those that are listening and that will continue to listen around the world from day to day, year to year, will not only pick up this book and embrace it, but will bloom in the darkness.
Mhm.
Lord, you said that it doesn't matter where we could be in the depths of hell, there you are. We could be in the skies of the skies, there you are. We could be in the middle of a trial and a tribulation. You said, wherever you are, wherever we are, there you are. And
Yes.
so today, this evening, around the world, if you're watching from your early hours abroad the sea, we just ask that you would bless us to understand that there is beauty, there
Yes.
is light that is in the darkness. And that's what you said in creation. You said, let there be light, and the darkness became light. And you separated the night from the day, and the trauma from the blessings, and the
Mhm.
bliss from that which is painful. And so
Yes.
we stand on the promise that you'll hold no good thing from all of us,
Absolutely.
not one thing. And so we're grateful for this testament. We're grateful for the test that was passed. And we're grateful that you're going to give us that which we need to pass our test. So we ask a special covering of anointing and blessing, prosperity and good success over this book, Believing in the Dark, and over the artistry and the hip hop ministry and the speaking and engagements. I ask that you would favor over and abundantly in the worthy name of Yahshua the Christ, who is Jesus of the Bible. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to grow on this session, Bible Beats and Bars. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Yo, thank you for being a part, Rose.
Oh,
What's
man.
up?
Thank you so much for having me. And you know what, Fred? I'm going to give you one of these, another one. And so if any of your viewers, if
Okay.
someone reaches out to you and said, hey, I would love to have that book, I want you to bless somebody with it.
All right, we will do so. So
Yeah.
let's do it this way. You've got to go to our Professor. Why don't you put up our email? There you go. You can go to our website, nomoredirty.org. Thank you very much. And I want you to go and send us an email at info@nomoredirty and say, hey, listen, I heard this show, Rose. I really would love this book, and tell us why. Tell us why, and why you know that this book is for you. Because you know what? We want, if you get this book, and I will mail it, we'll make sure you get it.
Mm-hmm.
But we want you to make sure that you use this book as a tool to be better and to become and find light. That's it. You know what I mean? And to everyone else, I say it every week when I'm dealing with artists and I'm dealing with the spokes and people and guests. The gospel is free, but it costs to order a book. You got to carry this gospel. You got to get it out. Show them the book again, girl. You got to show them the book. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm telling you, like, I'm not even a reader, and she got me reading at night, man. I go to bed with this thing. It's been like, oh my goodness, last 3-4 nights. I'm like, God, I can't put it down. So anyway, again, let's talk about let's go out with a bang. Let's go out with Rose, the hip hop artist, the female MC, got it like bam, bam. Yo, so talk about that walk with me, man. Your whole life has been like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like God has been walking with you in so much darkness that darkness is just frustrated. You know what I mean? For
And
real.
you know, what I love about being an artist is that, you know, I tell God all the time, I thank you that you gave me an outlet to, you know what I mean, to like let out that pain or let out my frustration. But yet I always make sure that I incorporate the word of God and his gospel in it. So it's never just me, you know, pouring out my pain, you know what I'm saying? But I'm being real. It's like, hey, this is a dark season. This was another dark season. I was just like, Lord, walk with me. I thought about my grandmother. You know, they used to be like, sing those old hymns. Walk with me, Lord. You know, and I said, you know what? Let me mix a little bit of the old with my gift of rapping. So that's where Walk With Me was birthed.
So that's what it is, you all. Again, we want to say thank you for tuning in. Shout out to my man Professor X, always on the back end, keeping us righteous and real and relevant. I got that from D1. Don't get it twisted. But I am just excited again. This song, and can I just tell them she rocking with us too? No More Dirty Entertainment. So y'all gonna hear more. But this visual, shout out to my man Jave and Shoeshine the Media. This song, this video is amazing. It's called Walk With Me. And we want you to know that as long as you choose to walk with him, you just had a conversation. He'll take the weed away. He'll take it all away. And you'll be like Rose. You'll be a rose that came out of the concrete of Chicago, out of your neighborhood and blossomed.
There you go.
And it'd be like, yo, what's up with that? And you put it like, there's a rose in the middle of this dark concrete. Yeah, but it ain't dark. It's rose. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in. I think that's it. Anything else we need to share? Are you good? Or just get the book, get it and download the product on all digital platforms. All right, man. Take us out, man. Hey, blessings. We'll see you. You already know the session, Bible Beats and Bars, every Saturday, 2 p.m. Good God of mercy. Get me out of here. And drop that No More Dirty mix. I love that joint. And we'll see you next time. Get the book. Get the book. Get the book.
Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV Show. Connect with us. Tune in.
Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me as I'm walking on this journey. I need you, Jesus, to walk with me. Walk with me. Walk with me.
I need you to walk with me every day as I'm taking this journey. As I pray, I'm hoping you hear me. As I pray, as I walk through the valley, the shadow of death, please save me from the traps and the plans of my enemies. Everywhere I go, they own me. Everywhere I go, they know me. Nobody knows all the trouble I've seen. My pain is greater than what you can see. My heart is aching, watch it bleed. The trouble I'm facing, Lord, can you even see? Praying and pacing the floor like a zombie. Trials and tribulations like a tsunami. Under your wings, you said that you would hide me. I'm looking for you, but seems like you're hiding. Where are you, God? Cause my faith is colliding. The devil is talking, I know he is lying. The weight is so heavy, my strength is subsiding. The storm is raging, thunder, lightning. Please walk with me so that I'll keep on fighting. So that I'll keep on fighting. I need you to walk with me. Remind me that your glory's greater than my present suffering.
Walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me as I'm walking on this journey. I need you, Jesus, to walk with me.
Walk with me, walk with me. I need you to come and talk to me about the things that I'm going through. Trying to understand how I will make it through. I can't seem to see the light of day. Try to live righteous, but tempted to go astray. Trapped in the wilderness, hasn't been 40 days. It's been more cloudy than all of my sunny days.
Where are you, God? I've been calling on
Help me, oh Lord, cause I need you to save me. I know you are for me, but they are against me. So I will praise you, cause they cannot hurt me. Only my flesh, but my soul is eternal. Judgment is close, but they cannot replace you. You cannot judge me. Who made you, God, to rule? Help me, oh Lord, cause I need you to save me from enemies that continue to hate me. Persecuted for my faith, you will raise me higher. Even though I'm blazing in the fire. When I am weak, weary, and I'm tired. No longer want to move on, but inspired. I am a wife whose strength is as a lion. Roaring in the wilderness like a siren. I'm in a battle, so I'll keep on fighting. Under his feathers and shelter, I'm hiding.
Lord, walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me as I'm walking on this journey. I need you, Jesus, to walk with me. walk with me, walk with me.